Here's a quote where it says, "What do you do with the mad that you feel when you feel so mad you could bite? When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag, or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead and think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish. I can stop, stop, stop any time. And what a good feeling to feel like this. And know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can. For a girl can someday be a woman, and a boy can be someday a man."
That sounded like a song lyric.
That was Saint Fred of the neighborhood.
Yeah, but
Isn't that
like
so beautiful when you read it? It's like you feel like you're swimming down a river, you know? It's very powerful. It makes you deeply empathize with children. Like he had such a way, and he was really in touch with the divine, because he had such a tender window. I don't know if you're familiar with him a little bit, his personal life, but he had such a tender window to the. Have you seen that documentary about him and stuff? It's worth checking out. But he had such a empathy with the child approach to life, and look at how he explains. You know, do you pound some clay or some dough? You know, do you round up friends for a game of tag to see how fast you go? And then he says, you can stop, you can stop, you can stop. That's nothing more mimetic than that. There's nothing more positively mimetic than that. And we need more of that. And I don't understand, but I'm going to say this. I don't understand how cynical the generation that grew up on Mr. Rogers has gotten, that they raised by that man on some level. They were also raised by a bunch of bad examples like Looney Tunes smashing people's heads with hammers. You don't know what that does to someone's neural brain development when they're 2 years old watching, people smack their heads with hammers 24/7 and get ran over by cars. I'm starting to doubt Looney Tunes. We thought that was the good old days of safe cartoons, and you look back at that stuff, you think, what does that do to your neuroplasticity as a little brain? Watching that stuff and think that they're all smiling after they hit themselves repeatedly with cars. Um,
it was worse for children back in the Jesus' time.
yeah,
They had to see crucified people on the roadside, and you could say it's Looney Tunes is day night picnic compared to what the children of Gaza is facing right now, as they are being burned alive and they are being just horrible. Some of the images that come across on social media. It's just like you said. What do you do? Is the song lyrics? What was it like? What do you do when the world seems wrong? Something like that, right? And
when I
everything
just
like that.
is that something else, or you're talking about what I just said?
No, the
What do you do
what you
with the
said.
mad that you feel when you feel so mad you could bite? When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What
Yeah.
do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop, Bibi, when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead and think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish. I can stop, stop, stop anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this. And know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can, where a girl can be someday a woman and a boy can be someday a man. And it reminds me of Soren Kierkegaard's quote where he said, with God's
Yeah.
help, I could become myself. He's talking about that issue.
Yeah.
Something deep
Yeah.
inside can help us become ourselves. And that's hard for a little child to sing that. You're right, when their whole city's being bombed to smithereens, because of the sins
Yeah.
of some group that they had no say so running their neighborhood. They want to play with toys too. They want to have fun. They want to fill their belly with food,
And
and
it's
just
also
collateral damage. And just like those Epstein children, those victims being assaulted every day and dehumanized and told that they're inferior race as they're being assaulted over and over and over again. And then Donald Trump, for him to betray the grace that God's given him with his public voice and say, "Why are you still talking about Epstein?" I mean, what a sad thing. It makes you feel a lot of mad inside, doesn't it? These things. Yeah.
it's like an endless cycle kind of thing, right? Like it's you bombing these children, or you're doing this to these children, or even the children who are being who have to watch Unitunes, even them. Like it's like generational trauma. It's like creating an endless cycle of trauma, and that.
Well, somebody told me the other day, they said that when they grew up, their mom would, if she was mad at them, would say, "Oh, I'm going to call the police and have them take you away for good if you don't stop or whatever." That's traumatic.
Right.
Do you really believe that as a
That is.
child, people are going to come and with guns and take you away forever? I mean, how could someone who loves you and protects you say that? And yet that happens like that. That's mild compared to probably how most children are raised in America. Everybody makes America out to be the shining example of everybody's just living a cozy life, but there's a lot of people who have generational violence and single family homes and all kinds of different types of situations where there's horrific assaults and things happening to children, and you wonder how they get through the mad that they feel, and then you wonder how do we get through the mad that we feel. you know
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
overwhelming. It is overwhelming.
It is, and that's why Jesus came to break down that generational trauma,
Yeah.
and that's why it didn't make sense for me to believe that his sacrifice is some kind of appeasement to the Father. It made more sense to me to, okay, here I am. I'm God in the flesh. For centuries, you all have been killing each other, murdering each other, and thinking that this is the way to go. But you seem that everlasting peace that you are always seeking through violence seems to evade you. Well, here I am. I offer myself to you.
Yeah.
Kill me so that you can have this generational peace.